Welcome back, everyone, to BizTalk. I am Rachel Weaver, your host for today, and I have with me Lalit Ahluwalia. He is the CEO of DigitalXForce and iTrustXForce. Lalit, it is an honor and pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you, Rachel. Pleasure is mine.
I am excited to dive right in and talk about threat detection and response. Can you tell us what tools and technologies can help me detect and respond to cybersecurity threats?
Absolutely, Rachel. Happy to. But before we even talk about the tools and the technology, which is the cure for the methods you apply, you got to first understand what is a threat to begin with, right? And cyber, or the digital world, when we talk about the threat, it's things like malware, ransomware, viruses, and other things that really are propagated in your environment to really be able to do something malicious. And what could be malicious is me trying to steal some very sensitive data from your environment. Like during the COVID time, there was a lot of IP, like the medicinal things that were being created, like a lot of research data that was being at stake. The same way, malicious actors are trying to launch attacks to steal, protected health information, PHI data, or PI, personal identifiable data as well, PII information. So when you're talking about the threats, they can come in different forms, and hence why you need different kind of tools and technologies, which we also say apply defense in depth, means different layers. Those tools and technologies, starting with your SOC, Security Operations Center. I'm pretty sure many people have seen in the movies as well, big screens, and their analysts watching all the traffic going on, and then oh whoa, look, that's red alert here. That's one way of looking at it, is where you're having anything crossing your network and your applications are hitting applications being monitored, and you're watching them for anything malicious. So there are tools which we call security operation tools, or security information event management tools. In today's world, we also call them the endpoint detection response. So your mobile phone. How do I know somebody is not launching any attack through your phone? So EDR, endpoint detection response. It could be your machine as well, mobile or laptop and stuff. Then we have network, because your machines don't work without a network. They need a platform, just like your cars need roads. You cannot fly the car, you have the road. So the network helps you navigate. So you need network detection response tools, NDR, that's what we call it. And then on top of that, because in today's world, we are looking at cloud, we're looking at operational technology, IoT, because we all want to be smart. So we have all the smart devices everywhere. So there's a concept of what we call as XDR, extended detection and response, where I'm basically trying to see anything and everything going on, just like a surveillance, think in a simple word, surveillance of everything. So those are the tools which we call detection and response tools coming. On top of that, of course, for the threat, you also want to mitigate them. So there are vulnerability scanning and management tools. So there are a lot of different tools at different layers that come together. So without getting too technical, company and organizations invest into all this security operation centers, or those threat detection tools which are available in the market space to manage those threats.
Wow, such great information. It's such important topics to really have us hone in and listen, because there is more of this happening than people really realize, I believe.
Absolutely. There's a lot happening for sure.
How should I handle a cybersecurity incident or breach in my small business?
So let me ask a reverse question to you, Rachel, for a second. When something goes wrong, like in your day-to-day life, let's say some event was planned and it doesn't go, what do you resort back to? Or let's say something bad happened, you're to your car or to your house or something, what do you really have? You always have some kind of plan, a backup plan, a response plan. Same way, incidents are very common, scenario in the digital world as well.
Mhm.
You have to like, when you're putting out there on the internet, you are prone to attacks and different threats propagation. So you have to assume there is going to be some kind of incident. And that's the reason where companies really invest into what we call as incident response plan. Any organization should have a very defined incident response plan in place, which talks about if something bad happens, who are the people that I need to be engaging with?
Mhm.
Who are they going to communicate with? What are the different tools, technologies, and stuff like they really have to really kind of make sure are brought back in time? All that coordination and management and how you can even recover from all that is part of the incident response plan. And the incident response plan also have some what we call as technology, suits to it. Like let's say service A went down, how we bring the service B up so that my business loss is less. Those are the elements that part of like your incident response plan, which also associate with what we call as continuity of operations plan. So that becomes your reference point for any organization when you're dealing with any kind of breach and stuff. And of course, knowledge sharing and knowledge exchange, with the other parties is equally important in dealing with any kind of incidents.
Wow, super important perspective and important for all of us to really take into consideration. Um, so, what would you say are the key indicators of a potential cyber threat that we can watch out for?
Okay. So I'm gonna make it very simple for the audience here. So Rachel, what are the key indicators for you that everything is fine at your home? Do you look for some symptoms like, for example, hey, if some unknown person is kind of walking through the streets,
Mhm.
if somebody's kind of like, in the midnight, like knocking the doors and running away, right?
Mhm.
What are the indicators you look for when you're looking for a incident at home in a physical world? The same indicators happen in the digital world. You're looking for like, oh, why all of a sudden somebody's trying to access my website 1,000 times when it used to be 10 times a day. Or
Mhm.
you're looking some kind of malicious activity, like, all of a sudden the services are like really going down, like, abruption happens right over there. Or there's like, emails being floated around, like, sometimes like, you will see like, a bunch of spam emails, everybody's like flooded. Oh, look, holiday season is here, let's celebrate. Who is sending all those emails? There are different like areas, of course, in the technology under the hood, somebody's watching network as well for abnormalities in the network. Somebody's watching application services, any abnormalities there. So there are a lot of different indicators that you really watch in like in a curve at different levels to really make sure you're able to identify them in advance and do it. Now, I will also say like, just like a nation security, we invest heavily into like, getting the information if something is going to happen or not in advance. That's what we call as threat intelligence. That intelligence is equally important in a part of your threat detection matters. Do not forget that. So anything that really proactively, oh, I was watching dark web and there's some indicators that's new software, 0-day attack coming our way. So how do I prepare myself for that? So there are a lot of different things that you have to watch or take care while preparing yourself for any cyber attack or threat detection.
Mhm. Very good. Such important things to pay attention to because, really it does. Often we get those notifications, even on our social media, that'll say, to sign in or someone's trying to access your account. And
Right.
a lot of times we just brush it off and say, no, it wasn't me or whatever. And you don't really think about it. But it is something that we need to pay attention to. And I think, wouldn't you say immediately to just go and change all of your passwords? Would you do that?
So there's certain parameters you also have to like a basic hygiene, right? Let's say you are seeing some abnormal activity on your accounts. So it's always advised change your passwords.
Mhm.
But also understand many people don't recognize maybe the source of your changing password is compromised. Now what do you do?
Mm.
We talk about the phishing. Remember when you get the emails and stuff, like, and you click the links and like give away information or, install something which is malicious. I'm pretty sure you like, say, you get an email and the malicious code is actually in report phishing. Now you click report phishing and now you're getting attacked. There's so many variety of ways you have to kind of watch yourself for, but there are certain fundamental things like, which we always advise. If something like this happens, take at least this step 1, step 2, 3, like changing passwords, or updating passwords on a regular basis. But if you see anything malicious, change it, right? Also, make sure, you report, many times we don't report enough to, whether internally within organization, hey guys, I'm noticing something malicious or abnormal, can you take action? Because we just ignore them. Or do the same thing at home or other places or small businesses, advising your service providers, hey, I'm seeing some activity here. Take the time to really inform and get the information what's needed, because the same small thing can actually turn into a massive attack.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for all of that important information. It's really powerful and important time of year for us to be extra cautious and paying attention. So thank you so much. We look forward to having you back again with us next week. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Thank you, Rachel. Take care.